because I went for a big stretch. But it looks like we're going to stick to the same bans right up until the Ryze has been picked. May even keep the Ryze just to make sure that it's all the same in that regard. And they just might just change the runes.
We know, Oisin, you love your big stretches and you love your big pizzas. That's the one thing we know for you. But we're at him. Gonna have to look over. See, it is actually just gonna be the exact same draft coming in, so there's no point kind of chatting about this. We kind of hit all the notes that we needed to. Good sideline pressure for Rare Adam. Ability to play to both sides again here for Strive. Kind of similar style to the TF. The only one I'm big question marking is Shanks and how he's going to perform on the Sylas. But yeah, I would imagine the reason we're having that reset is the Ryze water walking combo that you're not allowed to run.
Yeah. So I suppose the kind of answer to this one here is like, obviously we know what's going to be picked pretty much right up until the Ryze. I imagine it's what's going to be the last thing that we'll be able to kind of maybe change or see in this particular pick and ban. But with the Sylas, it is going to be very much about how Shanks can get unlocked, you know, working with that combination with Beishang and saying, look, you know, this 2v2 has to be proactive. This 2v2 has to be roaming either with each other in mid lane or around the map with those objectives.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe where you can put some pressure here as Beishang, but it is incredibly hard. You kind of have to catch Strive as he's overextended and hope then that you've got enough timing where you can dash through the wave as Shanks to get the abscond abduct. Strive does have the point-and-click CC, which can also make it a little bit more tough for Shanks to actually find the engage that he needs. So yeah, it's a hard matchup to try and play into.
Yeah.
I think it's more a case of like seeing if you can get a moment where the wave has bounced back. Maybe Shanks can freeze it to a certain extent to create this slow push, and then you can look to try and move in towards side lanes with Shanks having stolen away that realm warp.
Yep, well, we have the exact same picks and bans. Hopefully, Strive, welcome back to our beautiful faces, will not pick up the water walking rune. We will be fine to see how this one goes. I'd love if they go in and it comes up with a little like lower third of like all the runes, and we're just like, oh, that's the water walking rune. So we'll see. I'm sure the refs will be very, very thorough with making sure that nothing bad happens there. But yeah, this is going to be a slow one, I feel like, at the start of the game. It feels like both teams are happy to, especially in the bot lane, they're very happy to wait till they get that first item, maybe even item and a half, to really before they start to think what they want to try and do into this game. But with the likes of a Nautilus, you have got options available to you. So for WE, they had a very good start in game one. Despite losing it to Rare Adam, they were proactive and had some great macro decisions. For Rare Adam, though, it's a little bit more stock standard, and this time round we are going to see them go for another bit of a stack, but this time it's around the bot half of the map.
Yeah, I imagine that we're going to see a lot of action post 6. Maybe I was going to say not so much pre 6, but both teams setting up for invades here, so be curious to see who ends up running into who first, because now we have opted into a game of chicken.
We're going to party, come on now, fiesta forever.
That is an old song that I
Lionel Richie.
know that was still in my brain.
Lionel Richie, my dude. That is a song that will be in my brain forever. I used to sing that as a kid, 20 plus years ago at this point. We're old, man. We're boomers. We're esports boomers.
Shanks actually said something to me which just resonated, was yeah, it's weird when you start to think of your life in different decades, and I was like, oh god.
Wait, go back. I don't like this. Well, no invasion will lead to any action, as both teams will end up starting on their red buff. Both junglers going to be opposite sides of the map. Beishang pathing towards the bot, RA's Leyan pathing towards the top. And then we just kind of wait to see. Heal putting himself in this brush. It kind of sets itself up for, we know that you're going to be here, and I imagine they're not going to be getting caught out, but they might just get a bit greedy.
I mean, he'll actually probably going to take a good amount of damage back here. I mean, you've got the shield on Yuyanjia. Actually started with the Q.
Oh, full engaged here. They do get the cleanse out of iBoy after the ignite goes down. He may be forced to flash as well. One more auto attack would be good enough. You can't be waiting that long, iBoy. What's the bloody point of using your summoners if you're going to wait that long?
Yeah, I mean, Smlz just flashing forward to get the kill, and big mistake from iBoy. I mean, once Yuyanjia showed that he'd actually taken Q level 1 rather than the W, he'll... Great response. Instantly goes for the engage after iBoy's like, you have no knock-up to disengage this, so it's over.
Flash over. Flash over and steal it. That's what you want to do. Here we go. Beishang
Flash sword slap.
He's going to try and go for him. He's going to be a smite fight to try and get the hell. Does Beishang in a lot of trouble? Now he flashes away. Nearly gets taken out as he got Yuyanjia in tow. But Team WE going to be burst out of their own jungle. Maybe even a red buff stolen here. Heal, though, trying to help out a little bit.
Yeah, Beishang is very low. You have Smlz that's going to need a bit of time to get here. So looks like that blue buff is going to be gone. So nicely done by Leyan, despite iBoy going down level 1 to actually be here and able to set stuff up.
Oh, we're going to see another big engage as finally Smlz joins back in with his team. But it is a Rakan. Even if he is level 2, got plenty of ways of keeping himself sustained up. And honestly, this is great for iBoy because despite iBoy dying so early, Smlz took a reset to get a cull. Actually got a cull, a longsword, and some boots. And he's going to get a little bit behind in this lane.
Yeah, definitely going to be. But we're going to catch this on the replay. You can see here, Heal is actually going to back away. But the second Yuyanjia uses Q, Heal's like, oh wait, you have no disengage now. Great hook from Heal as well. Getting that lollipop on towards iBoy. And iBoy cleansing everything a bit too late. And as you say, flashing should have done that way sooner. Smlz flash Heal to make sure he gets the movement speed to get the play. Oh my, what is happening?
Yeah, we're going to come back straight in. And Yuyanjia gets caught out. He's forced to flash. I told you, there's always opportunities. Despite you having scaling with the Jinx, you have a Nautilus. There are ways of making things happen.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be this bad. Like, this is really Rare Adam's bot lane falling apart here. Like, it needed to be much more chilled, but the fact, as you say, you got the boots means you can get some nice advantages to try to use your range. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why you're stepping out behind those creeps, Yuyanjia. You just use those creeps to stop the hook from coming through.
It's like the Blitzcrank. The easiest way to stop a Blitzcrank is to just stand behind minions, you know? Just don't allow him to have the opportunity. But, yeah, this is a bit of a rough start here for the RA bot lane. Does mean that WE will have priority roughly around the bottom half of the map until those summoners do come back up. So we might see an early Drake take here for Beishang, should he so choose. But Leyan is still hovering around here and kind of going through this one here. And honestly, he's having a great time. He's actually double the CS. This Viego really punishing the Lee Sin early. And might see BiuBiu going aggressive top side, but won't be able to get anything else out of it. With his double ruby crystals after his back, he is still very tanky.
Yeah, but I mean, still quite behind in CS. Even losing a few there to try and push Cube out of lane. But now Heal might be in a bad spot.
I think he's in a very bad spot. Does have flash. Yuyanjia, if you're going to try and get a full engage here, they will not get the knock up as Heal has to use his flash. Summoner's being blown left, right, and center here as the bot lane is where all the action is.
Yeah, I mean, this wave is still crashing into WE, so I don't think they should have any issues with when it comes to the CS department. Should even up after this wave crashes, but still bizarre kind of see Leyan sticking around here. Just really wanted to make sure iBoy and Yuyanjia can get this crash because they still need to get their first reset off, and before the CS plus that cool already having been started on by both iBoy and Smlz, I mean, it should give them a good amount of gold off this pack.
Well, Beishang now going to take this opportunity of the reset bot lane to get themselves a dragon, like we talked about. So early Drake going to be going over to WE. It's what you like to see after the early priority they were able to get. Boots and a dagger, first thing for iBoy. Strife might have something to say about it. He does have the Realm Warp, but they might just go for this one here. They don't have knowledge that it's happening just yet, but now they do. They're going to maybe try and look for this one here. It's a 4v3 because you do not have iBoy around, so honestly, it's just going to be about keeping them away from the bot lane and just resetting themselves.
Yeah, very late reset from Smlz and Heal, though, especially if Yuyanjia can stop it.
Yuyanjia will stop it, but at what cost? Yeah, that is not what you want to be doing there as Yuyanjia, and that's 2-0 to WE.
Yeah, level 6 hit for Shanks as well. Means that he's able to steal the quickness and make sure Yuyanjia isn't able to dash to safety. So Yuyanjia tried to get cheeky and stop the backs, which would have been really good. It would have given a big advantage to iBoy, but now you just end up giving a kill. It will mean that Smlz has to stick around to actually clear this wave on bot side, so slight item advantage for Rare Adam at the moment, but I wouldn't be surprised if Beishang starts to roam down here once more, gives a little bit of respite to Smlz so we can actually push in this wave and stop this big wave from crashing, as you can see that iBoy is going for.
Well, Smlz just going to get peppered a little bit by iBoy as they back away. iBoy finally getting his summoners back. Yuyanjia's still waiting on his flash, but he is literally level 4. I was going to say he's nearly level 6, but he's actually not even level 5, so Still waiting to get access to his quickness. Always feels bad when the Sylas is able to get access to your ultimate before you are.
Yeah. The thing that I wanted to point out here, though, is that like this is moments where Rare Adam are missing out on potential plays. So see, Smlz behind on items. Strive had full push in mid. You have a big wave stacking that bot side. Leyan actually could have roamed down to this bottom lane, used the wave that's coming in now, and looked for a dive as Strive had control of the mid lane. But and this could have actually snowballed then into, hey, you get the dive, you reset, you get control then for Rift Herald, you've got iBoy super far ahead. And this is where, like, a lot of us, when we talk about Leyan not being active on the map and not really playing towards how his waves are setting up their lane states, this is kind of moments what...
Yeah, and again, Heal just landing those dredge lines. Beishang roaming down towards the spot lane. And honestly, I think he just got to kind of give this one up. BiuBiu has full knowledge that Leyan is on top of the Rift Herald, and he doesn't really care about actually contesting it. He's just basically saying, you have to throw people towards this top side in case I contest it. So that's going to be more gold and less experience for RA, more gold for WE. We will see the ultimate being used here by the Sejuani. The leap strike has already been committed, but it's still Cube with his ultimate getting those extra resistances and keeps himself safe.
Yeah, I mean, Smlz, though, again... Excuse me, sorry. Getting ahead in this bot side of the map. Okay. On the Jinx this time around, though, rather than the Kalista, means he should have a bit of an easier time getting his damage off, but you still got to be nervous as Rare Adam about how much control you're giving to Smlz on this bot side.
And again, this is a kind of a very similar pattern to what we saw in Game 1. Good macro play coming out from WE to be able to mitigate a lot of the advantages that we would see from RA. Honestly, the top lane is actually going much better for BiuBiu this time around. Actually has about a 10 CS lead. It would be equaled out now once it ends up getting crashed into Cube, but this is still very positive play coming out from the side of Team WE. They have got an awful lot more of a grip on this early game than they did in the last.
And now we just have to see if they can try and continue this forward, because, let's be honest, Oisin, we have not been convinced with WE and being able to hold on to leads. It has been a little bit messy, a little bit sad. And we'll have to see if we're going to be able to do a better job. Now again, Rift Herald's still in Leon's pocket, so the ability to actually get some gold in favor of Rare Adam, especially when the gold is this close. It's going to be pretty nice to try and just even it out completely. But Smlz getting 3 turret plates already on this bottom side.
Well, iBoy gets fully committed on. But he is a Zeri, so he backs himself away. Still fairly safe in that lane. Beishang spending an awful lot of time here, and the answer from RA is going to be in the mid lane. This is very similar to what we saw last time, but now they have the Realm Orb to try and make it a bit better.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! Oh, God, it's awful!
Wait, are they going to get caught out now?
No,
I mean, Shanks not going to, but that's an unfortunate one for Strive. Yeah. Oh, God. That was real sad.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. That is probably the best way to describe what's been happening in this game and how this series is probably going to end up falling out. But I suppose it's, you know what, sometimes it's not about getting the kill. Sometimes it's about the intent, the message you intend to send to people. As they thought about, you know what, if we had gone an extra 3 steps, we could have realm ward bot, but we didn't.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, it's like a gift. It's not about what it is, it's about the thought behind it. Yeah. And just like a gift, Strive full sent it.
You know what? I was going to say, I was like, that's what people who get crap gifts say. Or give crap gifts. But oh, Beishang in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get caught over the wall, but it's Elise in. So with his flash, he's got plenty of mobility to get himself away. I will say, though, flash for flash and an ultimate burned for Leyan, so not going to have access to that, but they might try and just fully engage onto this one. The ultimate from Nautilus should be available very, very soon. Yuyanjia now going to get flashed on, but he hasn't been taken out just yet. Shanks has stolen away the quickness. And yeah, with that massive ultimate, you're going to have to back away. You cannot contest this dragon.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Yuyanjia is still level 5, only just now hitting level 6 as he gets towards the mid wave, like, that was the biggest problem here for Rare Adam, and it's all because Yuyanjia had those two mistakes in the early stages that meant that he had to reset. Like, 12 minutes into the game and still being level 5 is absolutely absurd.
They're going to be able to take this bot lane tower as well. iBoy, they still have a Nautilus ultimate. No ignite yet, but he's going to be able to hex flash over a wall. The hook does not land just yet. The flash is not great, to be perfectly honest. The cleanse is a little bit late. They are going to try and commit, though, straight away onto Smlz. They're going to try and get him over the wall, but he flashes, and the quickness for the Shanks is still there and available, so he's going to be able to run rampant in this fight. Stripes just not got the cooldown right now to really make an impact in this fight, and now he's caught underneath the tower.
And he should go down here. iBoy not going to be able to respond and get here fast enough. I don't know if they actually maybe have the help bar on Shanks if he can start off the dive, but looks like they're happy to just take the turret plate and escape.
Yeah, and this is out of the big issue why we don't see Ryze as much. He's not as machine gun Kelly as he used to be. You do have to get up to those later levels before he really starts to pump out that consistent damage with his Qs and, of course, with the Essence bounce. But let's have a look at this one here. iBoy, again, uses everything, but he knows he's in a lot of trouble. He's just greeting for the wave.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks he has the support of Yuyanjia here and also Leyan. But because this is one of the moments where Shanks actually has control over the mid lane, he's able to roam down as well. So it just never becomes the uneven fight that Rare Adam I think we're kind of hoping for. Also, iBoy just going down so incredibly fast in that play. So now you've got Smlz with the Kraken Slayer well on his way towards Zeal. He's going to be monstrous. And again, we're seeing Rare Adam just a ton of silly mistakes that are costing him this early game.
Yeah. Despite all the good work Leyan's been able to do, he's 30 CS up, you know, basically, I think that's what, like 9 or about 8 camps or so, maybe a little bit less, 7 camps, but regardless, still doing exceptionally well for himself. It doesn't really matter because Smlz on a late game carry like the Jinx is honestly just such a terrifying threat right now. And they have to respect it. And with the Dragon stacking coming in for WE, they're going to be in a prime position to either pick and choose when and where they fight.
We'll have to see as well if they're going to be able to keep this control of the map, though, because this was kind of the biggest problem that we had is that, like, yes, we're seeing this big advantage for Smlz. The gold is actually about 2,000, so a little bit better than we saw in the last game, but they didn't really know how to increase this gold from this position. They started moving Smlz around the map. They did get some turrets, but you can see Rare Adam were always kind of keeping within touching distance. So this is where I want to see if WE can actually start to explode this gold lead. With Rift Herald up and the ability to look for a fight here, that could be the way that they do it.
There we go. We're going to see another engage coming out this time onto heal, but he's a Nautilus. He's very tanky. They're going to try and get on the Beishang. He's forced to kick Leyan away. He's still got opportunities here at the side of RA. They are not willing to go down without a fight, but it is still very much WE dictating the pace at this moment in time.
2 ultimates used by WE. Beishang not having kick is massive, and one of the big engage tools for heal in that depth charge being down is maybe enough for Rare Adam to try and look for a fight.
Might have to wait and see. Revision is scarce for both sides. Leyan thinking about maybe going in, but you want a Heartbreaker onto a very low target not to initiate as we wait to see when the quickness will be available for Yuyanjia, not for a while. So right now it is just still just WE as all 5 members of both teams just kind of hover around this Rift Herald, neither really wanting to commit to it because they both feel like they haven't got the strength in them yet.
But it's no vision control really there for WE either, so they haven't managed to clear out the ward, so Rare Adam knew the objective wasn't started, so they're happy to just keep fighting over mid priority, and both teams back away. As you said, 2 ultimates down for WE means they weren't sure they could actually win that fight.
Then we go back into the lane state, everyone going back to their lanes. 2,000 gold lead for WE, 2 dragons, 50 seconds till the next dragon spawns. You do have unleashed teleports, you will have one for BiuBiu. You won't have one for Shanks or, Stripes. The mid laners, actually, Stripes is using his immediately, so it looks like RA are fully committing here to this Rift Herald while saying, like, look, we might not be in time to try and contest for this dragon.
Well, I think that you can do this, instantly place it mid, and still be there to contest dragon. The vision control will be in favor of WE, and honestly, I think, as you say, that is a bigger win for Smlz in particular, because he's actually just finished his rapid fire cannon. I didn't realize how close he was to finishing that as Rift Herald was there. And if you have that Jinx in position with no real flank opportunities, she's going to be able to tear you asunder.
Yeah, well, Leyan's going to drop the Rift Herald topside as they maybe try and make a play here, but just getting the tower, not really gaining anything else, is not really a win here. You're losing soul point to Team WE, and it's a Hex Soul as well. We talked about the rapid fire cannon. If you're able to get the Hex Soul onto this Jinx, the extra little bit of slow is huge.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at Shanks' positioning, though. I thought once they saw the Rift Herald go down on top side, Shanks would instantly move mid. They'd maybe look for some sort of dive or the ability to push Rare Adam off of mid turret to get mid turret in response, but a little bit of a slow movement there from WE. So it means that they won't actually be able to threaten mid-turn at the same time as getting the dragon, but third dragon's still going to be really nice for WE. And now Rare Atom, they can't hide anymore. You have to fight for this soul in 5 minutes, and iBoy very far behind Smlz. Cube at least should try and have maybe the majority of his second item completed at that stage, but it's still not going to be actually probably even won't, to be honest, with the items these has at the moment. So you're going to be fighting from a pretty big disadvantage here as Rare Atom.
Well, we'll wait to see what RA can do, if anything. WE in a very comfortable position. Their Jinx very much missing that mid-game lull, and honestly just scaling into a much, much bigger champion than what the Zeri is right now. iBoy has got access to his full kit of summoners, but 4 minutes time, that's where we're really going to see the next fight happen. That's where we're really going to see both these teams have to fight around this dragon. And right now, WE saying that they have priority over this mid lane for the moment, as all 10 members again find themselves in a bit of an ARAM.
Yeah, and I think like Rare Atom needing to move all 5 members here says what kind of position that they're in. Because you can see, WE just push in, Shanks instantly teeters top, he'll still get this top tower. And I think they were hoping they'd actually find Rare Atom would find the numbers advantage mid because WE would commit to top tower, but WE, with all their members there, means Rare Atom can't actually make a play. We're kind of back to just people matching across the map, and for WE, that works out well because you do have your win condition in the dragons, but for Rare Atom, it kind of leaves a lot to be wanted.
Well, Beishang and Heal have been spotted out here for the moment. There is no vision just yet onto Leyan, but that means Smlz has been caught out. He's by himself. He'll flash away, but he gets caught out on the back of this, and Smlz returns the favor as he goes down. Big shutdown. Immortal Shield Bow is good, but iBoy just hasn't got the survivability. But you've lost a lot of your damage now on the side of WE, so RA, with this Ryze, with this Jax, should be able to do so much here. Shanks trying to get away, but he is CC'd down, and just like in game 1, WE look in control, but RA find an opportunity.
And now they're going to be able to get so much back here. You get this Terra mid, get control of this bot side jungle as well, and you've got some wards there for Yuyanjia that can be placed down and trying to hold on to that. I mean, massive mistake from Smlz, lagging behind and getting caught out completely.
Again, it was just information. The fact that they saw Heal and Beishang on that ward around the enemy blue buff, they said, cool, Smlz's got to be by himself. There's no way he's not going to be, got support with him there. So having that information just changes the whole dynamic of it. And like you said, huge swing of gold now going back in favor of RA. They've actually taken the gold lead, and that's going to mean a Shirelia's Revelry. It's going to mean a Randuin's Omen for Leyan's Viego, a Seraph's Embrace as well, finished up for Strife. This is a huge power shift.
It hurts me that this happens every time with WE. And you'll see it here, right? Like, the Smlz walking through river completely alone. And iBoy and Yuyanjia instantly just jump on him. Like, Heal and Beishang are doing their best to get here, but the damage is already done. And because Beishang goes for the kill onto iBoy, it actually leaves Heal completely on his own. Same with BiuBiu, because Beishang has now put himself out of the fight, and you get to turn and focus the last carry that's there, which is going to be Shanks, who's completely on his own.
Yeah. Everyone, it kind of felt like it wasn't a 5v5 despite all 5 members of WE being there. It was separated 1v5 kills, basically. That ended up being the death of them. Now, with a minute till Dragon spawns, RA feeling much better about maybe going for this fight. Even got a black cleaver here on the side of Jax, so he's going to be able to shred through this Sejuani. You have Stone on the quickness here for Shanks, but he's taking it very, very early. He won't. If they can just delay this for about maybe 30 seconds or so after the dragon spawns, that actually will time out the ultimate.
I mean, this is real dire spots here for WE. You have some poke that you can use, but you need to get the vision so you can actually do so. And Rare Atom keeping control here means that Yuyanjia has great opportunity for engages. Cube can find good flanks, and Smlz, you can see, trying to hit the rapid fire.
Here we go. They're going to fully commit, but they land all their CC onto the not primary targets. It was down onto Strive, and it was onto Yuyanjia, so not exactly the best people to be locking up, and they still have access to the quickness. We will see a very aggressive Cube. He's saying, Heal, I know you can't tank me up right now. And actually, it's WE being forced back, forced away.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been able to get any damage. Smlz not stepping up to take shots confidently and use that range he has because he's scared of Yuyanjia coming in, but I mean, it just means that iBoy is getting opportunities to poke down. Leyan and Strive are constantly moving in.
Here we go. The quickness goes in. They burst out BiuBiu. That is your super tank. And Shanks trying to use the quickness to get away. It's just a repeat of game 1, and they're going to be able to slaughter them. There's nothing they can do. It's going to be a double, a triple. Not quite a quadra, but it's the whole clean ace to RA just end the game. But no, they thought about it. They're going to go back for the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, they were thinking about opening up the base, but instead they will just go for the Baron. I think, honestly, they probably could have done both. I'm pretty sure they still have Strive's ultimate there, but they could have actually pushed in mid and then realm warped across, so they could have got Baron as well. But regardless, actually, no, they didn't have realm warp. My bad, close. Yeah, I mean, this is just so messy from WE. The fact that you have an early 3-item Jinx and you're scared to take any sort of fight here is just mind-blowing to me. Especially since BiuBiu, as you say, like, tried to use the ultimate. Strive ends up getting rid of it with the Sonya's Hourglass. Heal, not really finding an ultimate onto a key target. It's also messy from WE.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, this actually took a while for RA to get because it's so early in the game. And there's going to be a Hexol. Yeah, you lose this. I don't think you can actually contest it. That's a bit of a blunder here from RA. Massive blunder, actually.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of in the same boat of them. I was like, oh, yeah, you get the Baron. But as you say, Hexol now going straight across over to them. And we're going to catch the replay here where Adam, I mean, you just walk into Yuyanjia, like the worst possible spots. And the BiuBiu not really tanking. The fact that Shanks gets caught up there as well is just a big mistake. And this is why I haven't been just overly impressed with Sejuani's. You can see there, this is in theory your mega tank in the top lane, but she just isn't tanky enough to take a lot of this pressure, especially when you've been set behind with the Jax in the top lane.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a bit of a moment there for WE. They're actually getting, to be honest with you, even with the Hexol, it doesn't really help their situation that much. Yes, it is a little bit of extra damage, absolutely, but like we talked about, it's not extra health, it's not extra resistance.
So I think the big thing for WE is like the Hex Dragon, what's going to give them is the opportunity to like find more picks with Smlz. He'll be able to get some of that damage, get the slow off the auto attack. The chain lightning going to do a lot, as you can see, and it's just about like setting up easier fights. And just the poke from Smlz is going to be a lot more obnoxious. But honestly, Smlz like needs to actually step up and deal the damage. Like, I'm getting kind of frustrated just watching him sitting back playing way too defensive. Like, use your rapid fire cannon procs. Use the fact you have massive ranges this Jinx to actually look for plays.
Yep, and he's not even with his team right now. He's actually trying to defend mid lane, which I feel like is probably the only person who can deal with the Ryze. But 404 on Strife, he is an error in the eyes of WE as they finally try and just clear these waves. They are defending it pretty adamantly.
Infinity Edge picked up for Smlz is pretty huge, though. This is a definite hump that they had to get over. And now that there, maybe WE can fight, but they actually have to find these engages now. 50 seconds on Baron, definitely wait until that's gone. But nice move from Rare Adam.
Oh, nice move, but hasn't been called out here. Yuyanjia gets caught up, but again, he's not a primary target. It needs to be on iBoy. It needs to be on Strive if you're going to try and take down these carries.
I mean, both ultimates used from BiuBiu and Heal when Smlz wasn't there means that you just don't have any sort of follow-up, despite the fact you actually got knockups onto some carries of RA. So everything just kind of going a bit wonky, and we'll have to hold on and see what the story is going to be here, because yes, Hex Dragon is going to be super nice if WE are able to commit to the Elder Dragon in 3.5 minutes, like actually try and fight against that objective. But I'm not really sure how much pressure they're going to be able to get on the map leading up to that, especially with the amount of control that RA have in that bot side jungle at the moment. You have a lot of work on WE's side to actually have map pressure to get into this river.
I will say, despite RA having the Baron, it actually didn't lead to anything. They got a couple of waves, bit of chip damage, but not actually any structures going down. So it is still a 7,000 gold lead. RA, despite being down a Hexol, very much in control of this game. And it's going to come down to, honestly, I think you're right, either the Dragon or the Baron that's going to be spawning in 3 minutes for the Elder Drake and 2.5 for the Baron.
I think the Elder Dragon is going to be the big fighting point, and honestly, I think one fight here with a win for Rare Adam ends the game for WE. They need about 3-4 more big fights before they can really end this game, so we'll have to see if we're going to be strapping in for the long haul if WE can do it.
Oh, Yuyanjia and Leyan, though, they might be in trouble. They're getting caught up, but they're being set up in a row right now. iBoy will tank his own little ultimates. That's 2 ultimates used to try and get him away, but now Cube feeling confident to walk forward on top of this. They've lost the Rakan, but have they got the fight? Look at iBoy over the wall as they jump down onto Smlz, who's trying to do the damage, but he gets jumped out. He cannot continue. If he gets jumped on one more time, it's a battle of the AD carries. As you can see, iBoy gets jumped on, gets caught out, and gets taken down. In the blink of an eye, RA, we're ahead, and now they're looking like they might be behind.
And that's fight 1 that we were talking about. WE needing several more of these, though, because this would get them the tower in mid lane. Might get them a tier 2 as well, but now they still have to win the fight at Elder Dragon. They'll still probably need one more fight as well after that so they can actually clear out the base. But it's a good start for WE to get a little bit of gold in their favor and a little bit more in their back pocket. And this is just mistakes from Leyan. Like, face checking this with no one on WE showing on the map. Like, you just needed to wait until the waves crashed at the turrets and then actually go for this play. But getting impatient, get caught out, and WE doing a really nice job of punishing. And again, Smlz on the back line here, free hitting the whole time, no real pressure. Just even when Leyan tries to go for this, everyone in WE just turns and Smlz is fine.
Yeah, and it's just a battle of the 80 carries. I feel like if Smlz gets jumped on one more time, he dies. Same with iBoy, and unfortunately for the side of RA, it was exactly what it was there, you know? Got jumped on, got killed.
And that gives the Lord Dominic's regard to Smlz as well, so he's going to be in a good spot when it comes towards trying to deal with like the likes of Cube and even just the natural resistances that Rare Adam will have built up at this stage as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him rounded out with something like a Bloodthirster as well, just because you're getting so much poke damage coming through from iBoy, and it would work out super nicely for you. But we'll have to see. Is everyone now back mid-party for this Elder Dragon in 30 seconds. It's down to Strive and it's down to iBoy. Can the 80 carries do it?
Sorry, not Smlz, Heal. Excuse me, going for the X-Flash engage. Not quite able to land the dredge line. But 10 seconds until that dragon spawns, or a little bit over it. This is where the game is going to be won or lost. It's been a long, laborious game, and neither team, I'm totally honest, has really impressed. But it's not about impressing, it's about getting W's. So that red buff is going to be gifted over to iBoy now. RA setting themselves up, maybe looking to try and get a quickness engage. They will land this one onto Leyan and try and go for a Jax. The cube is dead as it goes down to the likes of the Sejuani. Now Jinx kind of putting in the work here, and it looks like we might be going to a game 3. That being said, though, iBoy is still a threat and will still be doing significant damage, but you've no jungler and you've no top.
I mean, this is just messy from Rare Adam. You see, there wasn't enough of a front line there to try and keep iBoy alive, and that's going to be the Elder Dragon now going over towards WE. And despite the 3k gold lead, the Jinx is online. You're almost getting a tanky front line, and BiuBiu, who definitely needs a bit more health in this build if he wants to be relevant, but it's enough with how far ahead Smlz is.
Well, that Elder Drake's going to almost guarantee a Baron buff as well. I will say that it will waste about a minute of the time of the Elder, because you will want to try and reset, so the Elder's not going to be actually that significant for the side of WE if RA can just keep their wave states in a decent spot.
So we'll have to see now what WE can try and do. iBoy is going to look to try and push on the spot side, but Shanks is already there to try and collect the waves, so not going to get too much, but at least stealing away all of these the spot side will help him get towards that Bloodthirster that he's working towards. You can see with the crit cloak in his back pocket. But it's nothing really for Rare Adam. Like, again, key members getting caught out. Cube goes forward. Shanks gets the great engage. Yuyanjia having that Everfrost lockup, and as well, then the depth charge plus the kickback means that he doesn't really get any sort of big engage off and buy space for iBoy to actually do the damage he needs.
You give up this mid tier 2 here now, RA, and just say, look, whatever, it's gone. We'll be able to accept it. It's a minute and a half until that Elder Drake despawns. I actually think they'll actually be able to get an inhibitor as well. I think you just kind of accept it for the moment, because there's not really much else for you to do about this. It's the rest of WE to kind of push in. And honestly, WE might feel confident to go for a little bit more. They are very big. As you can see, Smlz now, with that stopwatch, feeling much more confident to walk forward. They've got a bit of a minion wave, and they're starting to knock on the door. This is going to be Nexus turret number 1, potentially going down. Leyan does get the Heartbreaker out, and that's going to be one of the Nexus turrets falling. You have to fight now or never right now. You can't really let this one go for as long as you can. Yuyanjia tries to find the fight. The Mega Death Rocket not quite going to land and kill anybody, but it does not matter. And Dagda, it looks like we're going to a game 3.
I mean, Shanks incredibly low, but that Elder Dragon's still there.
Still there and still doing damage. They're moving forward confidently, and in the battle between RA and WE, it will go the distance, and we will get ourselves to a third game.
Yeah, WE able to strike back, able to control the mid game a lot better, and yeah, I mean, Smlz looking a lot more confident on this Jinx, having a bit more wiggle room when it comes towards his range, willing to step forward a little bit more, and WE will force us to that game number 3.
I like the way you say force.
I know what word I picked.
Yeah, I know. I see you. I see you. But yes, it is going to be 3 games here. WE not quite down and out just yet. And honestly, it does feel like it's kind of whoever makes the least mistakes wins. Because RA, I don't understand. The Baron call for there is fine, but I don't understand why you take your Jax and your Ryze off of the Baron. It takes so long for that. Because the funny thing is that they weren't even like collecting sideways, putting pressure on top or bot or anything like that. Like Cube just resets with a slower recall for some reason. And it's like, you will just be just as fast if you just contributed to the Baron, and then we reset, we all come back on the map together, and then they can't get Hexel. That Hexel ended up being huge because it just kept the gold lead down.
They could have just had Cube do Dragon. Like, simple, while the Baron is going down.
Same diff.
So, yeah, I don't know. Or even just done Dragon. Like, but I mean, not even that mistakes in the mid game. What happened to that bot lane? Yuyanjia getting absolutely destroyed. iBoy getting caught out several times as well. Like, that bot lane was an absolute mess. And even then, you could see that with how busted Zeri is, iBoy was still relevant in this game. But that should never have been the case. You never should have fallen that far behind. And this would have been a game that Rare Adam won if Smlz wasn't just massively accelerated. The fact he had 2 items at 16 minutes is absolutely insane. So his Infinity Edge was very, very quickly around the corner. And from that point forward, you could see that the Jinx was just taking over. But there never should have been a scenario where this was the case.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Good for WE, though. They keep themselves in the series. Only their 2nd game win of the split so far. The other one coming at the hands of Weibo. So they've been a lot of 0-2s for WE. Not today, of course. We will see how they end up kind of moving forward into this game. And honestly, it does feel like it's late game scaling for these two teams, but it's also down to the initiation and engage. I think the biggest problem there was that Yuyanjia just couldn't get onto primary targets, and he was the primary engage, honestly, the only real engage coming out here from RA. So without having access to that, they are just not going to really be able to make things happen. Smlz with the rapid fire cannon, like you mentioned, so far accelerated, it's just not going to be touched.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's not a huge amount to kind of like discuss about this game, to be realistic. I think the mistakes from Rare Adam in the bot lane just coming back to bite them. You do have WE, who I think could have pushed their lead a little bit harder in the mid game, but had that later scaling still coming around the corner, so just decided to take a bit of a hands off. And the fact that you end up having such an abysmal bot lane just set up for the dragon stacking, and then the mistake in the call in the mid game, as you say, like, this wasn't like super smart map movement or like a team kind of blowing another team out of the water. It was like, hey, these players made a bunch of mistakes, or the team made a mistake, and WE just happened to capitalize on them better. Yeah,
absolutely agree. And it's kind of, again, just adds more volume to the what I suppose. God, look at that. That is an LPL choreograph if I've ever seen one. But it does add more volume to the idea that, you know, these teams are justifiably where they are for a reason. You know, RA did pick up a win. Obviously, they were able to beat off. I can't remember exactly who they actually beat. I think it was OMG. So, and then the other games they were able to. They actually also took a game off of Weibo in their 2-1 loss to them. But again, a lot of 2-0s, not really kind of setting themselves up for success, and it does come down to these just very rookie errors, and especially, like you mentioned, in the early game for bot lane, like iBoy just not setting himself up or his team for success, and it really does punish you in the later stages, because I feel like Jinx is one of those picks that can scale and still become a monster, but where you capitalize is in that very weak early game.
But this is the thing for Rare Adam. Like, whatever about that bot side, there were still movements, map movements that you could have made to try and play around the bot side, maybe look for a play, maybe look for a dive. Even if you didn't want to play around bot, Strive still could have had like a strong mid jungle that you could have played around here with the point-and-click CC, kill Shanks, roam top, get Cube ahead. Cube then becomes a monster in side lanes, causes a ton of issues for WE because BiuBiu's going to be behind, Shanks is going to be behind. Now there's less wiggle room for Smlz to become a big tank or big damage dealer because his front line isn't there to protect him. Our Cube is able to tank longer. Like, there's ways that you can play this, but the frustrating part for Rare Adam is that we see them take things like the Twisted Fate, make no real early game plays. Now we got the Ryze as well, not really making any early game plays. And this isn't just a Strive issue. This is a team needs to work with these picks, and they're just not actually doing so in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very, very tough, and this is going to be an interesting setup now. I'm curious to see who ends up on what side, because it doesn't feel like, you know, we normally obviously talk about the side differences and you know, who's able to get what priority picks. It doesn't feel like one of those kind of games really right now for either side. It feels like neither team is getting or losing anything on either side. It feels like they're going to ban whatever the hell they want to ban and then go from there. You know, it's a strange one.
I still think the Zeri needs to be taken away. Like, Game 1 was monstrous. Game 2, the fact it's still dealing like 34% of the team's damage with a 2-5 scoreline. Like, this pick is insane. You just need to get off the board.
Yeah, the Zeri. The funny thing is, this is like pre-nerf or post-nerf Zeri. Zeri has been nerfed like so many damn times. We'll see if it ends up getting banned away in Game 3. But we're going to send it to a quick break before then. And when we return, we'll bring you to picks and bans.